is Joanne, and I want to welcome you to the One to Another podcast. Today, we're going to talk some more about how important it is to say goodbye, not to the person, but to the relationship that you've had with that person that has died or is in a change in the situation. Its prognosis is that it's not going to be around much longer. And it's so much easier in anticipatory grief if you can slowly say goodbye to that relationship that you've had that's no longer possible. And I've learned through, in fact, the book I've written, How to Say Goodbye, talks about this in the book and how to do this. But I want to tell you on this podcast a little bit more about why it is so important as you're walking through your grief before they die or after they die, why it's so important to say goodbye and let go. You never say goodbye to the person, but you do say goodbye to the relationship. So today I wanted to share a little bit about saying goodbye in my relationship with Ron in dancing. Now, Ron's 90, and I think we've gone on probably 28 or 29 cruises. It's a lot of cruises. And when I first started dating him, I knew he was a great dancer. First of all, when he was married to his wife, they were dancing when she had a major heart attack and died before she hit the floor on the dance floor. Now, so I had pretty good idea that they were pretty good dancers. And so when we started going together and I found out that he loved to dance, and one of on my wish list was if I was going to get married again, I wanted to marry a good, wonderful dancer because I like to dance too. And so when I found out that when he was I think it was in the 7th or 8th grade, his PE teacher decided to teach everybody in the class how to be a good dancer. And so he learned all this early in his life, and he was such a good dancer that in high school, when they go to dances, everybody wanted to dance with Ron because not only did he have good rhythm, but he was a smooth dancer. He loved to have fun while he was dancing, so he was always very popular. So when after we got married and I said, Ron, I know we're going to be going on cruises, and sometimes we'd go out to dinner, and there'd be a dance floor. And I said, you know what? I cannot go out on a dance floor with you unless we practice at home, because I got to know somewhat about how you do all you do. He said, all right. We had a big bedroom in our farmhouse. So, he was a man with much music, all kinds of music. So we'd get our little recorder going, and he'd pick out one of his CDs, and we would start to dance. Now, it was very important to him that I followed, and he wanted me to know that he was the guy in charge, which was fine with me. If you're a great dancer, if you have someone that follows you, it's just fun. So we would, it sounds crazy, but we would dance around in the bedroom, and he'd teach me all these swing steps that he loved. And we would spend a lot of time dancing in the bedroom. Well, after we got married, we had gone on all these cruises. So what he would do is when we get on a cruise, the first night he'd go check out all the different bands because on a cruise they've got all kinds. So he'd go check them out, find out which one he felt was the best, and then we go there. Now you have to understand something about cruises. On cruises, there's always someone on the dance floor that they think they're professional. They've gone to school, they've gone to dance school, they wear the right outfits, they wear the right shoes, and they really want to be the center of the dance floor. Well, when Ron and I get on the dance floor, we weren't on there to be making sure everybody was watching us. We were on the dance floor because we loved to dance, we loved each other, and we just wanted to have that wonderful time sharing our lives with each other. And so we weren't there to try to be in any way the couple. We were just there because we were a couple and we loved each other and we loved to dance. And the other thing was is that Ron would always sing. He knew every song there was, and he would not only dance, but he would also sing. When we have had this change in our lives now, where Ron has neuropathy in his feet, he has a great deal of pain in his legs, and he's in hospice, and he usually sits in his wonderful chair that's propped up because he needs to have his feet elevated so they don't hurt. So that's made a big change in our lives. He has a walker that he walks with and a cane to help him keep balance, but mostly the walker. And so life has changed at our house. Well, last weekend on the Huckabee show, the Oak Ridge brothers came on, and Huckabee interviewed the Oak Ridge brothers, and they're this next year is they're doing their final year of being together and playing, and they're retiring. And so he interviewed them, and then after he interviewed them, at the end of the show, they sang Elvira. Now, Elvira is one of the most fun songs to dance to. And so they started to sing it. And here's Ron with his feet elevated. And so I just went up to him right in front of him and said, "Sir, may I have this dance?" And so he puts his hands out, like we're going to dance. And so he puts his hands out, and I put my hands in his, and we just start, having the music and just dancing with our hands. And then there was a time where he just took his hand and started to swing me around the room. And then I came back and grabbed his hand, and then he swung me around just by letting me go. And I've danced with him enough to know that's what we were doing, is he wanted me to make a circle. And so we were just having so much fun. It was absolutely fun to be dancing with him again. So when the song was all over, I just it's hard to explain, but I let go of his hands and just kind of fell into his arms and said, "Wasn't that fun?" And he said, "Yes, I loved it." And we give each other a kiss and definitely had a moment of great love between us. So what I felt like I needed to do today with you is I wanted you to hear me say that I am saying goodbye to dancing with Ron on a dance floor, in a restaurant where there's dancing, any place that would be a place where he and I would have gone to go dancing. Because I know that our time to do that the way we have loved it so long is over. And I know I need to say goodbye and let that go. And so I did this ritual with a group of people in the support group that I teach. And so I put on the song Elvira. And there was, I think, 38 people in the group. And we were all in a kind of like a circle. They were all sitting in chairs. And so as the music started, I started with the very first person in the circle, took their hands, and just did a little bit of a dance with them. And then I went to the next, and then I went to the next. And I finally got all the way around the room. And we finished the song. And honestly and truly, a lot of people were crying because they remember dancing with their loved one and they're no longer here. And it was just a very special time for all of us together to do a ritual where I invited them to be part of it, and they helped me in saying goodbye to my wonderful partner, Ron, for dancing. You see, when you do ritual, you can't invite others to be part of it. And as they're part of it, they feel like they're helping you say goodbye, and they're helping them remember something that was precious to them too. And so I have learned to say goodbye to the relationship that I've had with Ron for 26 years on the dance floor, and to say goodbye and keep the precious memories that are in my heart, but say hello to new dancing in his chair and letting him feel the music and letting us do it in a new way. And so I've learned that saying goodbye helps you adjust to an environment which the relationship has changed. And maybe if you've lost someone through death or divorce, you're saying goodbye to missing that loved one. And I've learned that as you say goodbye, you have to live differently because life has changed. And when it changes, things cannot stay the way they were. And if you don't say goodbye to the change, then you live in the place of, oh, what's the matter? If only you could do this. No, you have to say goodbye. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And so as you're saying goodbye, you're moving yourself and to your loved ones, if they're still alive, to a new place. And you also learn that you can create new meaningfulness in your life. It's not the same, but we still have each other. And the new meaningfulness means that change has happened, but there's something good still in your life. Now, if you've lost someone and they're no longer there, I believe that you learn to live with the vacancy too and create new meaningfulness in your life in a new way. Because once you relocate the person emotionally, slowly, step by step, you begin to move on with life. It's not easy. There's lots of tears, but it's worth it to do it so that you are no longer in a place where you have an expectation that cannot be met. Like I said, I've written a book, How to Say Goodbye, which you can get through our webpage. Also, I have a thumb drive that you can purchase on our website that I do go through some how to say goodbyes, and you can see me do them, and that might help you. So those are available on our website. And I just continue to write in my journal. And I'm thankful that laughter lifts and that crying cleanses, and that they're both important in our emotional restoration. I'm thankful that we can move forward. We can look at what we've had. We can be so thankful for it, but we can move forward to slowly move to a place which I call new normal. Well, I want to thank you for listening today. If there's anything at all that has helped you, I hope that you will just take one step towards healing. Healing's possible for all of us. We just have to decide this is what we're going to do.